Good evening and welcome to the Seasons of Love Gala, benefiting Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration. I'm Randy Thomas, and we are so happy you are joining us for a fabulous night hosted by Academy Award-winning actor J.K. Simmons and honoring Tony Award-winning actress Ali Stroker. So power up those TVs, laptops, tablets, or smartphones. Sit back, buckle up, and get ready to get your love on. Tonight, you will meet a few of our families and hear from some very special guests, including Aimee Garcia, Amy Schumer, Andy Garcia, Bob Odenkirk, Brian Dietzen, Danny Pino, Dmitry and Jenya Chaplin, Garcelle Beauvais, Hank Azaria, Jennifer Hudson, J.J. Feild, John Hamm, Kevin Pollak, Kristen Chenoweth, Maria Canals-Barrera, Nestor Carbonell, Neve Campbell, Rob Benedict, Sherri Shepherd, Steve Valentine. They, like you, support the amazing work Inclusion Matters does every day to enrich the lives of children around the world to ensure that every child is included. For over 20 years, we've been blessed with some tremendous supporters, and tonight is no exception. You know him from stage and screen. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this evening's host, Academy Award-winning actor, J.K. Simmons.
Well, hello there. Is this the Seasons of Love event? I gotta tell you, I am pretty excited for tonight. This will be my first virtual love event, but I'm game to try anything in this strange current world of ours. When they said virtual love event, I said, you had me at hello, which of course they haven't actually said hello, but I figured it was implied. So how do we get the ball rolling here? Should we have some champagne and chocolate dipped strawberries, or do we skip straight to the candles and bubble bath and the berry white? I don't know. Let's just let the love begin.
Sir, this is not that kind of love event. It's the Seasons of Love virtual gala to benefit Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration.
Yeah, I knew that. Of course, I'm all about the inclusion. So let's get this party started, shall we? Lights, camera, inclusion.
Your robe, sir.
Yes, that was a joke. So I will go change my wardrobe. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages and abilities, welcome to our Seasons of Love virtual gala. We are so grateful that you're joining us for an evening of fabulous entertainment and to support a very, very worthy cause. And we want you to rest assured that we are taking every safety precaution. Normally, of course, we'd all be together for a high-profile evening in a fabulous venue, eating exquisite food, but tonight, I'll be dining here with all of you, enjoying a luxurious meal of a ham sandwich and some potato chips. Not quite the 5-course meal I was envisioning, but maybe we could have some, chocolate-covered strawberries later. It's becoming kind of a theme for the evening. At any rate, we have got a fabulous evening ahead for you. Inclusion Matters Gala has raised millions of dollars in years past to transform the lives of thousands of children with disabilities and their families and their communities all over the world. Tonight, we hope to be no exception. Your donations are more important than ever. Due to the pandemic, we've been forced to cancel several fundraising events this year. So please, every single dollar matters. Every donation will help. Give as generously as you can to make a huge difference in the lives of children and families who are served by this great organization. Now, in addition to your generous donations, we also want you to relax, sit back, and enjoy the evening of entertainment. And did I mention, make a donation? And of course, this year, you can do that from the comfort of your own home, wearing your own elastic waistband pajamas or sweats or bathrobe or absolutely nothing. It is, after all, a virtual love event. Now, the most important thing to tell you is how to donate. Here's how. It's easy. You can text "include me," no space, to 707070, or you can go to inclusionmatters.org and make a donation right there. And you can do that right now. If you want to beat the rush, probably a good idea. Go ahead, I'll wait. Or you can do it anytime during the evening, or anytime in the very near future. Tonight. Thank you. So let's kick this party into gear. It gives me great pleasure to introduce now our former neighbor across the street, the glamorously gorgeous, the incredibly intelligent, the stunningly stylish Latina legend, Georgiana Junko Kelman, who serves on the board of Inclusion Matters, of course, and who is our chair for our Seasons of Love Gala this year. Georgiana will now explain why this year's gala is so extra special. Georgiana?
Good evening, friends. Thank you for that lovely introduction, JK. Fun fact, JK was my neighbor across the street for almost a decade, and I bet when I moved, he thought he'd gotten rid of me. How'd that work out for you, JK? All joking aside, JK and Michelle have been wonderful longtime supporters, and we are so grateful to them for always giving of themselves to our mission so graciously and generously. So again, a big heartfelt thank you. So welcome everyone. I am so excited to be together this evening. Although apart, I am sad we cannot be celebrating together in person, but I am so happy you're able to join us virtually. Tonight, we hope to touch your hearts with a few inspirational families you will meet later and be entertained by our fabulous celebrity guests. We extend a huge thank you to our sponsors, our hardworking dinner committee, our wonderful guests and supporters, without whom this night would not be possible. And again, a huge thank you to our gracious host, J.K. Simmons. I know that all families are struggling. I see it every day on a professional level with the students that I represent. And in my own wonderful son, Brandon, who like so many kids like him, has missed out on so much, and especially those key social interactions. This pandemic has given us all our own challenges, but I'm reminded now more than ever how critical the mission of Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration is on a daily basis, and how crucial it is to continue championing this cause. So tonight, we hope to take you away for a little bit. We invite you to grab a cocktail, sit back, relax, and enjoy our wonderful programming. Thank you for joining us. We are thrilled to have you.
Good evening, everyone. We have a great program planned for you tonight.
Stick around for our dance finale with some very special kids and guests.
Enjoy the program.
Many parents of children with special needs feel isolated and in need of a place to connect with other families facing similar challenges. This is the story of Dustin and Katrina and their search to create an inclusive world for their beautiful son Dorian, and how Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration helped them to find their tribe.
Dorian is almost 3.5 years old now, and he was born with a rare genetic disorder called unbalanced chromosomal translocation. Essentially all it means is he's a little warrior and has fought some big battles for such a little guy.
Dorian didn't have a typical birth, a very traumatic entrance into this world. He coded right after birth, and the team came in. They were trying to revive him because he wasn't breathing, and he was a grayish blue color, and there was nothing we really could do. And then after they took him to the NICU, we didn't get to see him for almost 6 to 8 hours after his birth.
We stayed in the neonatal intensive care unit for the first 8 months of his life. And then we finally got to go home after that. It was an amazing experience, but it wasn't over then, because he was in and out of the hospital for Geez, the next year, it's been the craziest journey for me personally as his dad, but in the same breath, the most amazing journey, because he is the happiest little dude you'll ever meet. You would never know he's been through the things that he's been through, and he teaches me every single day to appreciate the small things in life, like being able to even breathe, the stuff we take for granted and we don't even think about in our day-to-day lives. He loves to laugh and play and watch Disney movies and go to the park and have slides and swings that are accessible to him. He's just like everyone else, even though he's slightly different, but aren't we all? I just want to make sure I put him in an environment where he can look around and see other kids similar to him and go to places where he can actually access things that we would want him to access. Those things, so just getting around mobility-wise is a huge barrier. Another reason, once we found Shane's and went to that playground, man, that day it felt magical. It was amazing to have a space that was built with him in mind.
Yeah, the first time we went to Shane's Inspiration, I just remember feeling just really excited for Dorian to play with the other kids and interact and see how kids run and jump and climb and swing and all those things. And I remember having the ventilator strapped on my back like a backpack, and I was carrying him, and then we slid down the slide for the very first time in his entire life. And that was really cool. Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration is so important for our community and for other kiddos like Dorian, just so we can bring them together and build our tribe. Him being able to interact and make friends, and I always thought that would be a huge barrier for him.
We have a good friend that we met along the way, and she wrote a book dedicated to her daughter that's all about trying to break down the barriers and, spread inclusion. And after she wrote it, she had posted something about doing a reading at this park in Griffith Park called Shane's Inspiration. And so I got curious and started exploring and wound up on the website, and I just was bombarded with so much joy and happy tears because I didn't know something like this existed and so close to us. And I remember I texted Katrina all about it, and it was a Friday, and I said, we're going tomorrow. And we went tomorrow, and that day we played, we had all his equipment, no struggles with trying to get through sand or can we use this piece of equipment, because all of it was put together thoughtfully for kids just like Dorian's.
Thank you, Dustin and Katrina, for sharing the inspiring story of Dorian with us. We're lucky to have you as part of the family here at Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration. And now I have the distinct pleasure of introducing the genesis of our organization, Shane's parents and co-founders of Shane's Inspiration, Catherine Curry Williams and Scott Williams.
Hello again, gala goers. For those of you who don't recall, my name is Scott Williams, and I'd like to introduce you to my infinitely better half,
Catherine Curry Williams.
And we are the proud parents of Shane Williams, for whom Shane's Inspiration was created. Shane was born back in 1997. For those of you who don't know the story, was born with a debilitating muscular disorder called spinal muscular atrophy, and was faced with spending his life in a wheelchair. My amazing wife, Catherine, along with our friend Tiffany Harris, founded Shane's Inspiration after Shane passed away in order to give kids like Shane a place to play with other able-bodied kids. So we set out to build one playground, which we were able to do in 2000 with the opening of Shane's Inspiration in Griffith Park. And since then, never dreaming that we would one day be standing here 20 plus years later, 75 playgrounds later, talking to you through the miracle of Zoom and extolling the virtues of this incredible organization and what it's grown into worldwide with play programs and about inclusion and compassion and kindness. And we're just grateful to all of you at home for joining us again tonight. We hope to goodness that we'll all be back together next year in person. And please just have a great night.
And remember that inclusion matters.
Inclusion matters. Thanks so much.
Cheers.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us in supporting Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration. As parents, we know the importance of play for kids of all abilities.
Inclusive play is a powerful way to stop bullying by creating social connections for children with disabilities.
And that's why Inclusion Matters provides free educational and community programs that teach kids to look beyond their differences and include everyone.
The truth is, all kids want to play and be included.
So please dig deep for this amazing charity and text Include Me to 707070 to help make our world more inclusive.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You know, during this time when playgrounds have mostly been closed, along with gyms and everything else, it's been hard to stay active, hard to stay fit. But I'll tell you what my secret is, not that you asked. It's just good old-fashioned willpower. You can't say yes to everything that's... What is this?
Your dessert, sir.
Yeah, Thank you. I mean, I don't want to be rude, right? Wow, it's really... Do you have any milk? Just kidding. Next up, I have the great pleasure of introducing someone who is near and dear to my family's heart. Tiffany Harris, co-founder of... Oh, look at this, it keeps on... And look, chocolate-covered strawberries. Tiffany co-founded this great organization over 2 decades ago, and she now leads an amazing team in their efforts to bring children and their families inclusive play areas across the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, an angel on earth, Tiffany Harris.
Good evening, everyone. We are so grateful, truly beyond words, for your steadfast, generous, and loyal support of this mission that has carried our families through this most challenging time. Because of you, we have been able to continue to provide programming that has brought laughter, creativity, socialization, friendship, and a feeling of belonging to thousands of children, educators, and families through our virtual programming, including our Fun for All, My Play Club, and Lunch and Learn events. We also made it possible to bring play into 13 countries and 27 states through our Global Day of Play events, reaching over 7,000 homes. Through these events, we have been able to provide valuable services that have been lost to our families due to COVID. On the playground front, this year we opened 3 inclusive playgrounds in Santa Cruz, California, Davenport, Iowa, and Spokane, Washington. This next year, we will open an additional 3 playgrounds with many more in development throughout the world. And if you're ever wondering how deeply you're impacting these families, I ask you to remember these words expressed so beautifully by Dustin Willis. You know the feeling when you go somewhere and you just feel like you belong? Almost instantly, the weight of worry or judgment that you might seem too different suddenly disappears, and you can fully be free. So comfortable in your own skin, you don't even know where to begin to try and describe it. That's what was going on inside of us when we played at these playgrounds for the very first time. Those words always take my breath away. So remember, whether it's on the playground, in the classroom, or in a virtual setting, inclusion matters, and you are making sure children like Dorian, Spencer, and Jasmine are honored and included in their communities, planting the seeds of infinite possibilities for their future. For this, we will never be able to thank you enough. I also want to take a moment to thank the extraordinary staff that I have the honor of working with, who so valiantly and joyfully continue to champion this mission through these difficult times. And to our amazing board members, whose steady and loyal and wise leadership has guided us through these times, I am grateful. To my dear friends, J.K. Simmons, Joe and Olivia Simmons, and the talented Michelle Schumacher, thank you for making this such a labor of love and a family affair and making it so special for all of our guests. And now we're going to take you into a day of our education program, Together We Are Able. This next video was a gift produced through the George Lucas Educational Foundation, Edutopia. Enjoy.
Play and playgrounds are so important for children because play is the way that we learn to connect with the world. At Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration, we create inclusive playgrounds and provide workshops for teachers that help them to understand the importance of social inclusion.
Fostering social inclusion for my students is so important because that gives them the opportunity to make our classroom a safe space and hopefully create a better and more inclusive world.
Let's do the sign for play. There's play. Who remembers swing? It's very similar like swing, or like play. Yep, it's kind of a front and back, okay? Very good.
So our education program is called Together We Are Able. The design and the intent of the program is for children to have a candid discussion around disability, experience that conversation through play, and then to sum it up at the end so that all of those perceptions and misconceptions are sort of put to rest. What does the word disability mean to you?
It means that they can't really do lots of things. They can't do the things that we could do as a person without disabilities.
Some of the misconceptions and assumptions that students talk about in that pre-conversation has to do with how they define disability. Well, if you're in a wheelchair, you can't do anything. That is common, and there's no judgment, and there can be no judgment on that with students because that is their limited experience.
Well, when I see somebody in a wheelchair, I kind of feel bad for them, like they can't really adapt and play with me, and I think that's really sad.
During the pre-visit, because students don't feel like they're being taught or talked at, they know, okay, this is something that I can learn from, and here now are some tips and tools and tricks that I can use, and then they take off running, sometimes literally.
That second step is the playground experience, and that's where we purposefully connect children together in buddy groups, and then through play, they can physically experience everything that we talked about.
Looking eyes.
The introductions are super important. You come down to eye level and we make the connection. Once they've done that and all students are comfortable, then they take their buddy and everybody explores the playground and they play.
Ooh, everybody come down low.
Hi.
And who's this?
My buddy was Parker, and we both had this excitement when we first met each other. I introduced myself, he introduced himself, and then that moment on, I held his hand. He just didn't let go.
I think it's really important for students in my class to understand that this is someone that you can learn from. This isn't about you helping someone. That can be part of it, certainly, but it's also about what gifts do both buddies on both ends have to bring to each other.
It makes my heart feel really warm. I just feel so good.
We like playing with you, Nika. Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
And then we come back in and we do a debrief, or what we call a post-conversation. And that really is a time for students from the typically developing class to synthesize what they experience. Raise your hand if you had a good time getting to know your buddy, right? Was there anything that this time with your buddy taught you?
Don't judge a book by its cover, and everybody's different in their own way, just to make sure that everybody's being included.
I like that. We have a lot more things in common than not.
I think it's really important to get kids talking about inclusivity at a wide level. My students are going to be going into a very diverse world, and the more that they're able to be inclusive of others, the better they're going to make the world around them.
You want to go on the other slide now?
Talk to your principal. Come up with something small that you can start with. Maybe it's a conversation at your staff meeting. If you're a general education teacher, find a special ed teacher that would want to partner with you. Start the conversation.
If I could see my students come away from the 4th grade with anything, I would want them to ultimately be strong allies for others. As a teacher, nothing would make me more proud.
Finally tonight here, America Strong. It was an incredible moment at the Tonys. The actor on Broadway who is breaking boundaries, leading the way for so many. And her work, if you've seen her, well, it speaks for itself. She had already made history, the first Broadway performer to be a wheelchair user in Spring Awakening. Then came her role in Rodgers and Hammerstein's Oklahoma. And last night, she performed one of her songs.
I'm just a girl who can't say no. I'm in a terrible fix.
She has been acting since she was a little girl. She lost the use of her legs at a car crash when she was just 2. And last night, she was up for Best Performance by an Actress in a featured role in a musical.
And the Tony Award goes to Ali Stroker!
This award is for every kid who is watching tonight who has a disability, who has a limitation or a challenge, who has been waiting to see themselves represented in this arena. You are.
And the children she was speaking to, they were watching.
That's me. That is you, buddy.
6-year-old Henry from Louisville, and this 15-year-old Sydney from Milwaukee. And so was her hometown, Ridgewood, New Jersey.
Mom and Dad, thank you for teaching me to use my gifts to help people. I love you. We did it.
And so we salute Ali Stroker. I was lucky enough to see her on Broadway, and she is amazing. Just the beginning.
I am here for a great reason. I am here to present what should be like the best award in the world to get to the perfect recipient, Ali Stroker. Okay, I wrote a couple things down because I wanted to get it right. Hi everybody, I'm thrilled to be here tonight. By the way, I'm Kristen Chenoweth, celebrating the most important mission of Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration. And I'm so honored to be able to present the Badass Woman of Inspiration Award. And you know who that's going to? Ali Stroker. When she first came on stage in Spring Awakening, I was like, who's that? Then I went to see Oklahoma, my beloved musical of my home state. And, you know, I just thought, not only did she reinvent the role, but she's really showing our young people, our young artists, that you have no limitations and that there are no more rules. And Ali, that's a thing that you keep inspiring and re-inspiring in me, is when I think, oh, I can't do that, or I'm not allowed to do that, or I shouldn't do that. I say, yes, I should do that. I am allowed to do that, and I can do it. Thank you, Ali, for just really inspiring girls all over the country and all the girls and kids in music theater. We both know that art has the power to change lives, and you, my friend, have definitely changed so many lives with your inner beauty, outer beauty, really cute dresses, and amazing smile. We love you, we're so proud of you, and congratulations. Mwah.
Thank you so much for awarding me with the Badass Woman of Inspiration Award. I am so honored. I'm here at home in my sequins, celebrating tonight with all of you. I want to just take a moment to thank everybody at Shane's Inspiration for the work that they are doing in creating inclusion for every kid who has a disability. I grew up in a wheelchair, and if it weren't for all the people who took the time to make sure that I felt like I was a part of the world, that I was included, I would never be where I am today. I share this small story with you all because I think that it really embodies what I have experienced. So when I was a little girl, I was really afraid of always being in the way. And I think this is something that people with disabilities feel. And I have, over the past few years, realized that In so many ways, we are the way. Inclusion is not just about making us feel like we are equal. It is for everyone, because the world is better, the world is richer, the world is filled with diversity because we need to see each other and our differences reflected across the board, always. And so as we move into 2021, a new year, and coming out of the pandemic, which will be a new life and a new world, I want to put this out there that I believe that we will become more inclusive, that we will diversify even more, and we will become better. So thank you all so much for supporting me in what I do and my dreams. And specifically, I want to thank my family. I want to thank my friends. I want to thank my team, my managers, my agents. And finally, I want to thank my partner, David, who reminds me every day for what I stand for, and which is love and equality. And thank you all. I hope you have a beautiful night.
Hey everybody, it's John Hamm, live from quarantine on tape, iPhone. This is what 11 days in quarantine looks like. But JK, thank you for having me. Tiffany and Georgiana, thank you for doing all the legwork on this. And everybody there, thanks for giving your time, money, and attendance and attention to such a wonderful organization. Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration is an impressive organization, to say the least, and the work that they do is made possible by all of you. So a hearty thank you from me. Everybody enjoy, and please give lustily. Thank you.
Hi, it's me, Aimee Schumer, here to say congratulations on this event. And Tiffany and Georgiana, amazing work. And as someone who has a father who's been in a wheelchair for a really long time, my dad has MS, and he's been, so you'll see I sent along a picture of my dad and I dancing at my wedding, him in his chair. And I think about what it would be like when I was younger, had he been restricted in that way. And so these inclusive playgrounds and all the work you're doing really hits close to home. And thank you, JK, for involving me, and congratulations on an amazing event.
We are here at the Heroes Playground in Malibu, California. This playground was made possible by Charlene Sperber and Steve Silveroff. Hi, I'm Scarlett, and on behalf of all the kids who play at Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration Playgrounds, thank you. At these playgrounds, my brothers and I can play together, which is something we love to do but can't do at most playgrounds. Did you know that for just $1 a day, you can make it possible for kids like me to play? So please consider joining the 365 Club and make this dream come true for thousands of kids throughout the world. Just go to inclusionmatters.org/donate and pledge $1 a day for play. Thank you for including me and for making all of my seasons filled with love.
This is Maria Canals-Barrera, and I want to wish a warm welcome to all of you and to thank you for celebrating our Seasons of Love tonight. The first time I went to my play club, the fabulous family program of Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration, I saw children with and without disabilities laughing, playing, and sharing the real magic of childhood together, friendship. Did you know that these wonderful events have reached thousands of families in Los Angeles alone since 2002? And did you know that they've been replicated as far away as Ecuador? Wow. Please text Include Me to 707070 and make 2021 the season of love and make it last all year for children and their parents worldwide through virtual My Play Club events and so much more. And now it is my sincere pleasure to introduce our Inclusion Matters Youth Choir singing our theme song, Seasons of Love.
And now a quick word from my good pal, Hank Azaria.
Hey, Hank Azaria here. Shout out to Shane's Inspiration, specifically Tiffany and Georgiana. You guys are amazing. Best of luck. Keep up the great work.
Caring for a child with special needs is complex and often challenging. As well as the emotional and physical demands, parents often find themselves having to fight for their kid to be included at school, with friends, in the community, even at the playground. Inclusion Matters unites children of all abilities through inclusive playgrounds and social inclusion programs. Last year, we met author and educator Amber Harrell-Toby and her daughter Jasmine at one of our My Play Club events. They became involved with our mission and they read their book, Hey Jasmine, Let's Go to the Park, to our families there. So tonight, we'd like to take you to the park with Brian Dietzen leading us through their inspiring story.
Amber, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And so Amber, I wanted to ask you, I hear that you are a published author. I don't know much about it, so if you would you tell me the title of the book and what it's about?
The title is Hey Jasmine, Let's Go to the Park.
and it's a book inspired by my daughter Jasmine. This is Jasmine. And she loves to go to the park. And so one day we were at the park and some of the kids started to run away from her. And she genuinely just wanted to play. And I noticed that they made a game out of it and they started calling her a monster, and they would run away. And she didn't understand what was going on. So she just, wanting to play, followed along. And, Mama Bear was
yes.
no, this is not happening. So it inspired me to write a book to explain, what's going on with little Miss Jasmine. But also to show that just because she's special needs doesn't mean she can't do anything, or that, she's a monster. But also just to, let parents know how they can break it down to their kids, at a kid level.
So how did you meet the folks from Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration? How did you come across their parks?
So I was at a book fair selling the book, and one of the patrons that was walking by, I introduced myself, told her about the book, and she actually works with the organization that builds the playgrounds. And she said, I have a perfect fit for you. We do outreach, we educate families about including children and how to include, all types of children so that they can play together. She said, I want you to call them, just see what happens. And so when you find an inclusive park that allows your child to be able to access all of the equipment, and they take into consideration the restroom needs and the fact that she just wants to be a kid, that gives a lot of relief for a parent. And as for her, she loves to say, step back, let me do it. She wants to be independent. And so having, a facility that allows her to explore and feel, that she's not restricted in her ability, then that just makes her smile and happy, and that's what I want.
Jasmine, what do you like about going to the playground?
I like to play with other kids.
Yeah. And what is your favorite thing to play on when you go to the playground?
The monkey bars, and the swings.
And the swings.
And the slides.
Amber, can you tell us a little bit about Jasmine's interactions with other children with special needs, but also her interactions with able-bodied children and how that's been going at school and on the playground?
When the kids are interacting, that's a perfect opportunity to say, this is why she's wearing braces, or this is why she's drooling, or this is why she needs to go this way on the swing versus this way. So that's what I love about these parks, is that it gives an opportunity to have a conversation, a real-life conversation. It makes it personable.
So it seems like a place like Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration is kind of the perfect place to do that, because you have kids who are able-bodied, kids with needs, and they all get to come together and talk, start those conversations, and also have fun.
Absolutely.
Amber, thank you so much, and thank you for writing this book. Thank you for doing what you do and being who you are. You guys are an absolute inspiration.
Well, thanks for having us. We enjoyed it, huh, Jazz? Did you have fun? Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Andy Garcia, and I love music, and so do kids. That's why Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration weaves music and sound play into their playground designs to support children with auditory processing disorders. Musicians of all abilities can discover the subtle shifts of tones and individual sound combinations while they are playing. Very important. Your support will bring more music and inclusive play to kids around the world. Thank you for being here tonight and for your generosity.
And now it's time to meet the unflappable Spencer Hawk, who was born with TAR syndrome. He's been involved with our organization since he was 4 years old, and now at the ripe old age of 19, Spencer has grown into an incredible young man. Despite facing countless surgeries and medical procedures during his young life, Spencer has never let his disability prevent him from living a full and inclusive life. Let's see how Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration has helped inspire independence and confidence in Spencer, and what being included means to him.
Hello, my name is Spencer Hawk, and I would like to talk about how the importance of inclusion has affected my life. I was born with thrombocytopenia absent radii, more commonly known as TAR syndrome. This means I am missing my arm and wrist bones and have low platelets. My legs didn't form correctly either, and I became a double amputee in the first grade to give myself more mobility and less pain. Additionally, I was recently diagnosed with autism. In short, disability is a label that I have had since the day I was born. Okay, so let's be real. Limitations suck. Especially when you are trying to do something that requires things you don't possess, such as height, reach, or just having typical functions in the first place. Even casual tasks that others do every day, like using a sink, cooking a meal, or grabbing the Oreos from the top of the fridge, may require a tool that could work, or having to ask for help. And that's frustrating. I was first brought to a universally accessible playground when I was 2 years old in Los Angeles, California. At the playgrounds made by Inclusion Matters, I've always felt accepted, included, and able to participate. I grew up playing alongside my typically abled friends for years on these playgrounds. I was never left out. No stairs, no sand or wood chips separating me from others. To this day, I can access pretty much all of the equipment on any of the playgrounds, with or without my wheelchair. That's a big deal. However, there is something else that is essential to these playgrounds, and it is what realizes the mission of Inclusion Matters. What is it? Kindness by being inclusive. It can be hard to tell yourself to be kind, to include everyone, especially in the time we are currently living in. But I guarantee it. Inclusion is always welcome, always needed. Inclusion is what gives the playgrounds and the classrooms and your neighborhoods and workplaces life. What makes these playgrounds so amazing isn't just the equipment alone, but the fact that all can access, all are welcomed, and kindness blossoms everywhere. Just that simple question of, would you like to play with us? Is enough to turn a kid's world upside down. It is so important to have that kindness present. I would certainly not be who I am today without that inclusive kindness that I experienced throughout my childhood. The experience of thoughtful inclusion. That's the real magic of these playgrounds. Myself and my family are so thankful for them. And gratefully, I have learned to require it and advocate for it. I'll leave you now with a mantra that I wrote. Including everyone is good for everyone. Being kind to everyone changes everyone. And it only takes one to bring together everyone. Thank you.
You can see what the impact of being included and having full access to play has made in Spencer's life. You can make a difference for children like Spencer, Jasmine, and Dorian every month by joining the Roundup program for Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration. By linking your debit or your credit card, you round up your purchases to the next dollar. Your change is then donated at the end of each month, and you can set a limit. Sign up at inclusionmatters.org/donate. And thank you for giving the gift of inclusion.
And now here's a quick word from my good friend Christopher Walken. I mean, come on, it's Kevin Pollak, but go ahead.
Hello, a moment of your time, please. I wanted to bring your attention to shane'sinspiration.org. It's a lot of letters, really. Some would say too many. Whoa. But they're doing great work, all they can to remove the stigma for children living with disabilities. So head on over to shane'sinspiration.org, check them out, do what you can, follow your heart. But it's a damn good cause. So please, the time is now.
Now, did you know that Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration builds quiet spaces on their playgrounds to provide children with auditory processing disorder sound buffers? Now, one of the coolest pieces of equipment on their playgrounds is called a cozy dome. It's like an igloo with holes in it. It's the perfect place for kids with autism to find a little peace and quiet, even on a busy playground. Now, you might not know this, but 1 in 54 children in the US is diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder. Now, that's why this organization creates playgrounds to include kids of all abilities with a spectrum of needs. Now, thanks to your support, they're able to make a difference for so many families year-round. You can learn more on their website at inclusionmatters.org. Wishing you and yours a happy Valentine's Day.
Did you know that you have the power to break down barriers for children with disabilities? So many of them can spend their childhoods denied the right to play, form lasting friendships, and fully participate in their school and local communities. And this painful isolation can impact the trajectory of their lives. Support Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration tonight. Break this barrier of exclusion by creating inclusive playgrounds and education programs that unite children of all abilities across the world. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Now, to paraphrase the great William Shatner, you may not know this about me, but I like a dance or two now and then, a little high-stepping. And I heard I'm not alone. So please join me in welcoming the Emmy-nominated choreographer of Dancing with the Stars, Dmitry Chaplin, and his lovely and talented wife, actor and choreographer Jenya Chaplin. And they will be joined by some of our Inclusion Matters friends. I thought you'd never ask. Sorry, Georgiana.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. All through my city, all through my home. We're flying up no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. You're more like the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel good, good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. I can't stop the feeling. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, 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 come on. Ooh, it's something magical. It's in the air, it's in my blood, it's rushing on. I don't need no reason, don't need control. I fly so high, no ceiling when I'm in my zone. Cause I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. You're more like the way we rock it, so don't stop, stop, stop. Under the lights when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel good, good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. I can't stop the I can't stop the, I can't stop the, I can't stop the feeling. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel good, good creeping up on you, so just dance, dance, dance. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. Ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. Everybody say.
Thank you for everything everyone has done to make this such a wonderful evening, all of our special guests. We really hope you have enjoyed the night's events, and if you have, please show that appreciation by making a donation if you haven't already. Or even if you have already, you're allowed to do it multiple times. There's no rule against that. So that Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration can continue to change the lives of children and families around the world. Any amount goes a long way to help transforming the life of a child. Bigger amounts go even farther, I'm not going to lie. Thank you all for all the love you've shown tonight for Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration. I had a great time being here with you virtually, and now I'm off to spend some time with the love of my life, Michelle Schumacher, in this season of love. Happy Valentine's Day to one and all. Happy Valentine's Day, my love. Thank you. Wishing all of you love in all the seasons of your life. Good night. And now this is awkward, getting a text from Georgiana Kelman, of course. Who else? I generally ignore these because she's usually trying to rope me into something like this. Wants me to do a virtual tango with her. I don't know what that would be even, but I'm going to pretend I did not read it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the fabulous and funny actor, author, comedian, and television personality, Sherri Shepherd.
Hey everybody, I am Sherri Shepherd, and I'm so excited to join you tonight. I'm so excited because I get to get out of my house. I have been quarantined with a 15-year-old who hates my guts. I don't know what happened from the time before we got quarantined. He was my ride or die. He snuggled in my neck. He kissed me all the time. Now he looks at me like two roaches have crawled out of my mouth. I'll say to him things like, Jeffrey, I love you. And he goes, why are you in my room? I need my space. That's the kind of stuff. And I go, why you here? Because I paid the bills. My son now talks to me like he works the third shift at the electric company. Like he just tired of me. He is home, and I don't know about y'all, but this online school is not working for me. Every day I come in, he looks at me like we in a bad marriage. My son looks at me every day like, you still here? And I look at him like, you still here? Every single day. If I have one more parent-teacher conference, I have completely ignored all of the emails from every teacher. I don't even know if my son is in school anymore. I don't know where he is. Because the last time I had a parent-teacher conference, they said, Miss Shepherd, he's not in school. And I go, I don't know how, because he's right there in the next room. How the heck you doggone fail in gym class is what I want to know. All you got to do is go outside and get on the trampoline, and you still fail in gym class. Then math. Math is not a forte of mine, but he failed in math. So the teachers called and they said, Mrs. Shepherd, we are all a team. And I said, no, we're not a team. That's your business. When he signs on, he is your business. I don't want to hear from my son until 3 o'clock when online school is over. This is the thing, because I dropped out of algebra. Once I found out my breasts were going to get me everywhere, I dropped out of algebra. So I'm a little upset because I just online schooling is not working for me. Dating is not working for me. I want a daughter. See, I don't know who has daughters out here, but I would like a daughter just so I could do TikToks. I want to do the little dances, and I got a son who looks at me like, Mommy, you can't dance. This is what I think with teenagers, like their sole purpose is just to hurt your feelings. Their sole purpose in life is to destroy your self-esteem. There are some days I go out because I'm single. I think I look cute, and I go, how do I look, Jeffrey? He goes, you look old. And why are you wearing that wig? You look like Bob Marley. You not funny. And I go, who? You sound like my ex-husband. I could have stayed with your daddy if I wanted all of this. So, we'll get it together during this COVID season. I'm just a little touch-starved, which is probably why I'm ranting so much. I'm touch-starved. As you can tell, I'm not getting any, which is really, really hard being in COVID. This is crazy because I'm just sitting up there looking at myself. I don't know what to do anymore. I call myself and I try to make myself feel good, but I'm about to ghost myself because it's just not working. That's what I did. I left a note for myself and said, Sherri, this is not working for me anymore. We need to end this relationship. It is crazy. I don't know. Are there kids watching this? Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to stop right there because it's too much adult ranting. But I just want to say, I just want to end it on a good note because I know that this COVID is coming to an end. Quarantine is coming to an end, and I'm so ready for it. I thank you from the bottom of my heart that you are participating in this evening and everything that it includes. Can you imagine a world of inclusion, of diversity? And that is what Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration is all about. Inclusion. With all of the divisiveness and the tension going on today, inclusion is what will make a lot of things go away and will usher in love. So with that, I'm loving that you're joining us this evening. I am loving that you're participating. I am loving that you're reaching deep down into your hearts, which means your pockets, and you're giving to us this night because this is all about Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration. So just ask what you're supposed to give and give. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the show.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict. I'm proud to support Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration. You can help create a more inclusive world for children with disabilities by texting Include Me to 707070 to make a donation. Thank you.
One of the things I love most about kids is their sense of play. They're always running around and being creative and imaginative. So I'm happy to support an organization called Inclusion Matters, an organization that helps create inclusive playgrounds and educational programs for kids with disabilities. One of my favorite things this program does is they'll have field trips and pair a kid without disabilities and a kid with disabilities and have them just hang out and learn from each other throughout the day. And now with COVID, they host virtual Zoom events with music and crafts and stories to teach kids language development, problem solving, teamwork, and open-mindedness. And cheers to organizations like Inclusion Matters that make the world a better place for kids.
Hi, Steve Valentine here. I do hope you're having a wonderful night celebrating Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration. It really is one of my favorite organizations. It's meant so much to me and my family over the years. I was a part of this even before I had children. I could see the difference that inclusion made when children of all abilities were able to play together. And it's not just the kids playing together, it's the parents coming together. It is this magical sense of community and the magic of play, which you're going to hear a lot about tonight. So I got I got a playing card. There were some extra playing cards downstairs in the lobby. So I grabbed one and I punched some holes in it because I'm a kid, okay? I'm a child. And I thought I could maybe use my imagination and maybe encourage you to use your imagination, and maybe together we can create a little bit of magic. I think that we're just going to use a light here. This is very important. You'll see why in a minute, because you can see the light shining through. Okay, you'll see that the light kind of shines through like that. And we want to add a little bit of music. I think this is very important. And let's try and use our imagination and maybe play a little bit with these holes. Check it out.
I hear him before I go to sleep. Focus on the day that's been. I realize he's there. Turn the light off, turn over. Nobody knows about my man. They think he's lost on some horizon. And suddenly I find myself listening to a man I never known before, telling me about the sea. All his loves to eternity. He's here again, the man with the child in his eyes. He's here again, the man with the child in his eyes. He's very understanding, he's so aware of all my situations. When I stay up late, he's always waiting, but I feel when I hesitate. Oh, I'm so worried about my love. They say no, it won't last forever. Here I am again, my girl, wondering what on earth I would do here. Maybe.
So finally, I just want to say this, that if you want to help Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration or learn more, please go to inclusionmatters.org, where you can get involved or you can donate and help this incredible organization grow and grow and grow. I hope you all have a magical night. From me, that's all the magic I got for you for right now. Bye.
Hi, this is Garcelle Beauvais, and I am so excited to be a part of Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration. Every kid wants to be included. Every kid wants to feel like they can go somewhere and just fit in. My boys, Jackson Jade, got to volunteer at one of the events, and it's really amazing what this organization has been able to do. And I just want to support it, and I want you guys to support it and say thank you so much for giving so generously tonight. And I wish everybody a fantastic evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rachel Wall, and I have the honor of introducing tonight's sponsors. Our Seasons of Love sponsor, Landscape Structures, our eternal thanks to Steve King. Our sweetheart sponsors, and these two couples are our angels, Pat and Rick Kessler, and Michelle Schumacher and J.K. Simmons. Our love sponsors, Johnny Carson Foundation. Thank you, Larry Witzer and your amazing board. Maria's Italian Kitchen and Madeline Alfano, with us since the start. Otterborg. Thank you, David, John, and Daniel, joining us from New York, and our anonymous New York friend. You know who you are. Next, our lounge sponsors, Catherine Curry Williams and Scott Williams, our fabulous co-founders, Debbie and Kurt Marsden, our board president, Dina Rue, who gifted us with Rockets Universe Playground, Cadane Foundation, and our board member, Kelly Akins, Kathy Bell and Gabe Steffens, and thanks to everyone at Paul Hastings, Northrop Grumman, and our board member, Anita Wright. R4 Capital, Special thanks to Jason Gershwin and TJX Companies. Thanks to our gala committee member, Kelly Moulton. Finally, our media sponsors, Aploff Entertainment and board member Jeff Aploff, Crow. Special thanks to Mark Demos. Environmental Contracting Corporation, thanks to our gala committee member, Kristen Mays. RecWest Outdoor Products and our longtime partner, Mike Bennett. All of these friends have supported us for years, many since the beginning of our 22-year journey. To each of them, to all our ad sponsors, and to all of you with us tonight, thank you for your generous support of Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration. We wouldn't be here today without you,